What's the weirdest SX act you've ever done alone? As a boy we lived near a large wooded area. When I got HRNY I'd take off all my clothes and see how far away I can walk from them. The thrill was exciting to me. Being nude outdoors. Fear of being caught. It would always lead to a quick masturbation session. Which once the horniest left me. I was left sometimes a 1-2 mile from my clothes and that walk back was not nearly as thrilling. Short story. We lived a quarter mile from a nice double-wide trailer park growing up. As teenagers, we loved to go streaking. You know, the thrill of it all. Plus, we were always looking for funny things to do, stupid things. We decided, at 11 PM, me and my best friend were going to get naked. Shoes of course. Take our backpacks. And go steal everyone's porch light. And we did. We stole probably 20 lights and light covers. It was silly as FCK but so much fun. Spent a whole day during school break lazy. In bed. Seeing how many times I could ejaculate. The answer for 17-year-old me was 12 times. 44-year-old me has not yet repeated the experiment. But my guess is once. 30-year-old me can barely manage twice in a day. I'm afraid if I went for 3 I'd have a heart attack and the medics would have to put me on a stretcher with my hand still on my DCK and they don't need to see that. I wanted to make my own fleshlight so I took the tube out of a roll of toilet paper and dunked the TP into warm water. I then put my DCK into this warm mass of wet toilet paper. It felt decent but made such a mess. And the post-nut guilt was something else. Jerk off upside down with a aloe bottle and use my speakers as a DCK vibrator. Edit song was Ghost Main Trenchcoat. Low bite pain. Edit how the FCK do I turn off notice. Aloe pervs. One time when I was like 11 my PS2 controller glitched out and it just vibrated non-stop. That's all I'll say. Tied my own legs to the bedposts behind my head but I tied them too tight so I had to cut myself out with a mechanical pencil on my nightstand. It took about 20 maybe more like 15 minutes. Hey, at least you know you can escape with a mechanical pencil. If your legs are tied and you have a mechanical pencil nearby and you can spare 20 minutes. I once took a soup spoon up my bum, the handle, with some Vaseline lube on. After I had to throw out the spoon. I just couldn't look at it again the same way. Edit changed the trademarked Vaseline to lube as it was a regular SX lube. PIV. Penis and vacuum. I was going through puberty. Made a fake vagina with a rubber glove. Empty pasta sauce jar. A bath sponge and a rubber band. Then FK'd it 4 weeks as a lonely teenager. I'll start by saying I'm glad I never got my DCK ripped off. I was sexually repressed by religion and it led to weird SX things. Our top-load washing machine had just the right amount of vibration. And I discovered I could run it with the lid open by jamming some pennies into the hinge area. The top of the spindle had a whole cup in the top, where you are supposed to add bleach or fabric softener. Or apparently dick. Wrap my DCK in something soft. Lay across the washing machine and put it the bleach hole. Let me tell you. When it hit spin cycle, I didn't last long. Thanks for bringing up these horrifying times in my life. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and making this by far the most upvoted thing I've ever posted anywhere. In the virtual world this is now my legacy. Damn it. I was quite HRNY in my early teens. So I looked up innovative ways to masturbate. As it seems, if you hollow out a cucumber and microwave it, it does not feel like the inside of a vagina. I was left with the most disgusting vegetable you've ever seen and a memory that lives under the surface of my dignity. I wrote a raunchy message to a girl on my phone but didn't send it. I aimed my erection at the phone and made a deal with my DCK that if it could get hard enough to reach the send button, the message would get on its way. As a HRNY and desperate youth I was constantly looking up new ways to rub one out. My biggest FCK up was after I saw the video of how to make a pocket PSSY out of 2 dish sponges, a dish glove, And a cup. I had the cup. But no sponges or rubber glove. What I did have was 2 MacLeod magic erasers. And some saran wrap. Long story short. Saran wrap does not create an effective barrier between skin and caustic chemicals. I had a chemical burn on the head and shaft of my dong for about 2 weeks. Didn't go to the hospital. But I did have to wear the softest pair of shorts I owned for a while. Kids. Read the warning label before you put your DCK in something. Edit. I guess it turns out that magic erasers do not contain caustic chemicals. This information does nothing to lessen my shame. Edit 2. Obligatory thank you for my first gold. However, whoever gave a wholesome to this may need to speak to a professional. Wanked it while riding a tandem bike home from a fetish party. Edit to address some questions. Solo. Front. I often ride tandem solo because it's fun. Less likely to be stolen and is quite useful for bringing someone home on. Currently working on rigging a small vibrator to the backseat with controls at the front. Yup. Username checks out. Redditor 9 years. And proud of this being my most upvoted comment. Thanks for the bling. Saw a thing in a hentai. Decided to try it out. Gave myself a UT and thrush. If you're gonna FCK a bottle, make sure to sterilize it first. In general. Don't do what hentais do. You will almost certainly end up with either a UT in some form of relationship with some form of demon, or you will be a sleeve at the end of the day. I used a soft fishing lure as a dildo and lotion as lube. Got super freaked out after. I was really high and paranoid, so I called poison control thinking I was going to die from the chemicals on the lure lol. In middle school, I once got a postcard from a girl I was super into. I'm pretty sure it was a generic day card. Anyway, I was so excited that I opened the card, cut a hole in the middle and tried to FCK it. Didn't go well. Do not recommend. Highly uncomfortable and painful. I have rather religious and conservative parents. They decided to put off the sex talk, at least the details, until my senior year of high school. So when I started getting erections back in middle school, I had no idea what was going on. Not really understanding them. I thought it was like an ache or some really weird itch. So to scratch it, I'd lie on my front in bed, press my groin against the mattress, and rock back and forth. TLDR. I humped my mattress until high school. Either inserting a popsicle into my ass, because I have a fetish for inserting really cold things inside me. And I've done it with ice cubes before. Or squirting shampoo into my ass because I thought maybe it would feel like someone coming inside me, and being a virgin at the time, I wanted to know what it was like. It was nothing like someone coming inside of me. And I would like to add that I do not recommend squirting shampoo anywhere inside of your body. Ever. When I was a kid, I had the thought if I could jerk off but keep the CM in me, would it feel good for longer? So I put scotch tape over my pee hole and went to town. Suffice to say, it was very painful and I have a bit of a lasting trauma. Would not recommend. At age 8 on vacation in Spain with my family, I made love to a Smarties tube. Got my penis stuck and then my brother busted me. He still call me MR Smarties sometimes. I'm 26. Edit. After some quick Google searching, I found out it was not a Smarties tube. It was a mini M&M tube. I guess the whole nickname thing is ruined. BTW, I sent my brother a screenshot of reaching 10k. He simply replied, legend. Thanks for all rewards are. Once when I was a young teen, I wanted to know what my CM tasted like, but licking it off my hand seemed gross, so I jerked off into a Tostitos scoop and then ate it. It would take me years to realize that CM is both salty but not that salty. You know these weird intrusive thoughts you sometimes have when near somewhere you could jump from? Welp, one time I just put a butter knife up my V. Edit. Yes. Blade first. No, it didn't hurt or cut me. I was lucky my heavily dissociated 14-year-old self snapped back to reality fast enough to remove it carefully. I then scrubbed that thing like my life depended on it. I've got many Maybe too embarrassing to admit, but that's why I made this account. I've used anything, and I mean anything, I could find in the bathroom to pleasure myself. Top most embarrassing things are pill containers and the plunger. I learned that masturbating while having to pee makes it feel good, so I would do so often. So often that one time I peed all over the bathroom floor. I tried to f-ked myself with a water bottle. All these happened before I was 15. I thought everyone did these things. Phone sex. I've only done it once with her so many years ago, and I felt so damn awkward the entire time. She was way into it, but I couldn't even get a semi. I 100% faked my orgasm. Not necessarily super sexual, but I passionately made out dry humped with a Dory plush when I was younger because I had a massive crush I had on the character. Yes, I'm talking about the fish from Finding Nemo. Edit. Silver for this? Y'all are too kind. Thank you, stranger. Edit 2. Good God. This is my most upvoted and awarded comment. I'm not complaining. But what is going on? Got a cheap game for my PS4 that made the controller vibrate a lot because my vibrator was broken. Edit. I swear I get so many wholesome awards just because of my username. My dudes. The name is about Blue Doc Martens. I'm so ashamed writing this. Lol. Younger me. F. Had one of those huge teddy bear stuffed animals. Like the giant people-sized ones. Well, one day I was horny and decided I was going to use duct tape and tape down my dildo onto my stuffed bear's area. I then proceeded to ride him to climax. I'm so ashamed of this. Even to this day I edit. Thank you to the guys and gals who have liked and or commented to me. Also, those of you who gifted me awards. I thank you very much. I was in a class at school. Back then I would get turned on so easily. For some reason there was a photo of a hot girl in bikini in a mural on the wall. To this day I'm specially turned on by girls in swimsuits. I saw it and was instantly turned on. Spent the entire class thinking about it. The class ended. Couldn't hold myself. Decided I had to relieve myself right there. Hid myself below some chairs or something. Everyone left. Teacher left. I stood up. Looked at the pic. Almost exploding. Started jerking off. Was done in seconds. Creamed everything. Strangely. To this day. Like 20 years later. I don't remember what happened next. Cut a hole in my orangutan teddy that I had since birth and pumped the living daylights out it when I just discovered I could come. It ended up all crusty and I had to restuff it a couple times. Eventually my friend found it. Put his finger in the hole and realized what he had just done, and that was the end of our friendship. It was around about then I realized what a disgrace I was and invested in an oven mitt, a packet of ham and a snorkel. Where I was grounded so much as a child. I found that my Xbox controller was a great use as a vibrator. I'd keep my finger on the trigger button to make it keep vibrating. I was 9 when I first figured this out, and it was definitely my favorite toy. Haha. This was the Xbox Crystal BTW. Edit. For everyone wondering how I found this out when I was only 9. My stepdad was a narcissist and he grounded me to my room for 6 months at a time. He was also very abusive, so I stayed in my room a lot anyways. It's just one of the things I figured out. I had the controller on my lap one day and it started vibrating and I was curious as to why it felt nice. So I investigated a bit more. I had hit puberty hard by 9. I was already having periods. I guess it's just one of those things, guys, lol. I'm 25 now, so this was a long time ago. One time I heated up a 5-layer bean burrito from Taco Bell for about 150 seconds before trying to use it as a fleshlight. I went balls deep and caused first-degree burn on my crotch. Yes. I was a teen when I did this. Yes, I worked at Taco Bell. No, I would not recommend. No, that's not how we made sour cream. Once while jerking off on my bed, I wanted to see if my nut can reach the ceiling. So I edged for about an hour and found the perfect video on Pornhub. Now here comes the difficult part. I had to find a way to position my lower body so that 1. The nut won't hit my face, and 2. So it can reach the ceiling, all while trying to keep an erection. I did it. It shot up like a fucking rocket straight to the ceiling. However, during the post-nut clarity it dripped down on my face. 8/10 would recommend trying. Also, another time I saw a Sprite commercial and thought what would happen if I stuck my DCK in softer drink. So being a teen and nothing to do, I went to the store to buy a bottle of Sprite. Came home, poured it in a glass and stuck my DCK in it. The bubbles feel like weird but calming massage. 10/10 would recommend. Edit. I can't believe my first gold was for me sticking my DCK in Sprite and shooting my nut up to the ceiling. IAIA. For real though, thanks Redditors. A friend of mine, no, really, loves to tell the story of when he was a young HRNY teenager. And his mom had left a tuna fish sandwich for him after mowing the lawn. It was sitting on the counter. Fresh. Not cold. And he was inspired by the smell to take it into the bathroom, where he literally FK'd the tuna sandwich. Mortified by what he had done, he flushed it down the toilet and ate a bag of chips. It's his proudest, saddest moment as a kid. Fucked myself with a shampoo bottle on FaceTime with my ex. With my dead hands. I have a neurological condition, flailing about uncontrollably. Was horny. In retrospect, not the sexiest I've ever looked. Tried to suck my own dick. Managed to get the head in my mouth. Did not feel like a blowjob. Hurt my back. 2/10 do not recommend. Edit. This is my first ever post or comment to ever get a reward. Classic Reddit that it is about sucking my own dick. Wonderful. Thanks guys. Simultaneously eating popcorn and masturbating in a movie theater while watching the Lorax. Edit. Thank you for the awards. I feel I need to clear some things up. It was hella late. Like a midnight showing. I was alone in the theater. And I was incredibly high. This was also the night prior to me deciding no more drugs except weed, which I use for my depression. Used a candle for an L while I straddled on top of it while jerking off. I was curious as a teenager and questioning whether I was bisexual or not. Turned out I was. Weird act that led to an enlightening moment years later. Ended up blowing my friend, which was great as well. I'm in a straight marriage now, but I do have toys that keep me occupied. Smelled my nut after. It smells like Bisquick. I worked at a popular and busy family-themed resort doing the breakfast buffet. We would go through 10 to 15 gallons of pancake batter a day during the busy season. Pancake batter expands as it sits. It will grow quite a bit in size overnight. We would load the batter into 5 or 7 gallon containers the day before and keep them overnight. Whoever was doing prep would try and load the bucket slow enough that the batter wouldn't expand and spill out, but it was usually a fail and we would get little splatters of pancake batter all over the floor of the cooler. The smell of pancake batter being so close to jizz and the way the little splashes looked meant it was universally referred to as pankaki. I started smoking weed occasionally about 15 years ago. I discovered it makes me extremely horny. On a hunch one night, I smoked and then watched really hot porn. I refused to touch my dick. I got insanely hard. And started to feel the sensation of F-king the girl. My DCK got so hard it literally hurt. My stomach tensed up incredibly hard as well. Before long I was breathing in and out super fast. And my hips involuntarily started thrusting. I came the hardest I had ever felt up to that point in my life. I passed out right afterward. I woke up maybe half an hour later and cleaned up the mess. My stomach and groin were sore the next day. Like I had worked out. I have done this quite a few times since. Nothing will ever compare to that first time though. When I was a kid, I used to fall asleep during church service a lot. To remedy this, my mom would send me back to the lobby with my Bible and have me stay out there for the rest of the service. Eventually, to pass the time, I would go to the bathroom with my Bible in hand and start jerking it to Song of Solomon like I was reading Penthouse. How beautiful are your sandaled feet, princess. The curves of your thighs are like jewelry. The handiwork of a master. 2 Your navel is a rounded bowl. It never lacks mixed wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat surrounded by lilies. 3 Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. Song of Solomon 7. 1-3. My first boyfriend got caught by his parents for filling a Ziploc with mustard and putting it between his bed mattress and F-king it. Parents walked in, yellow dick mid-thrust. I would love to claim it, but I had a roommate in uni who used to be basically positions himself upside down against a wall. His legs, lower back and mid back all against the wall. His weight bearing down on the back of his neck and shoulder blades. He used to wonk in this position and CM on his own face. He freely discussed this with me. Asked him why he wanted to CM on his own face, and he just shrugged his shoulders. When I was a teen, I went to my local amusement park. Won one of those huge stuffed bears. Guess who became my new humping buddy? Sorry. Jingles. Edit. Why does this have 400 likes? Edit 2. Someone DM'd me saying they want to be my new Jingles. JFC. Edit 3. Everyone's going to HRNY jail. My sexual adolescence was pretty weird. I would sometimes piss my pants on purpose sometimes. I would also beat my DCK against a table. I also rubbed myself against poles when I was real young, and years later I realized it's weird. I look back at all these things with utter dread. Not me, but a dude that was a few years older than me in high school. This dude, Ted, decided that it was a good idea to FCK a Head and Shoulders shampoo bottle while he was in the shower. His DCK ended up getting stuck in the bottle and he had to go to the ER to get it removed. Afterward he was forever known as Ted and Shoulders. I was a super HRNY teen. I was babysitting. The child was asleep. I used one of her giant sticks of bubbles as a dildo. To this day I get freaked out about the thought of them possibly having had a nanny cam. Got my DCK stuck inside a toilet paper roll when I was a teen. Put it in semi-hard, but when it got hard it got stuck. The tip started turning angry colors. I freaked out for too long until I realized I could just tear the toilet paper roll. I decided to FCK a Hot Pocket fresh out of the microwave. Too hot. Waited for it to cool down. Went again. It fell apart. Finished. Overall, not a good experience. Would not recommend. I once masturbated over an anthill on a small island in the wilds of Canada. I imagined my semen was like manna falling from heaven to a starving city. They still tell tales of the great god standing over them as my CM rained down. And wait for my second coming. Started fingering my ass in like high school. But that wasn't enough. Went to Sharpie markers. But not enough. Had the idea to use a banana. But the bottom end had that hard, kinda sharp end on it. So what did I do? I used sandpaper to file it down to be smooth and an easy glide in. Needless to say, bananas don't last too long going up the ass.